one of the fastest ways to unlock hidden profits, cash flow, and ROI. And every company needs an energy efficiency program to drive your profits higher. So it's also a socially responsible investment. You'll reduce carbon emissions. And in many cases, clients want to see that. Okay, if I'm going, for example, to a BPO, if I'm giving you a program, or if I'm becoming a tenant in your building, or if I'm buying a house, I want to see if I buy this house, it's an energy efficient house. It's a good investment for me. So basically, clients are also interested. That should be in our thinking as well. So we're glad to have this fantastic group of forward thinkers. Hopefully, some of these solutions that we'll show you today will help you drive your profits higher, be a more responsible corporate citizen, and we're always here to help. And anybody has ideas about better solutions or more solutions, we do these every month. Please leave your calling card. There's no cost to you. Just attend and give us some of your time and share your ideas. So I've got a few more slides, but I'm going to cut myself off. I'm going to introduce Mr. Julian Payne. Julian is the president of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. They have several hundred companies under their mandate, which they represent. He is also a member of the Joint Foreign Chambers, which I'm a member of as well. So he is also the CEO of TechRep. I'll let Julian take the floor now and talk a little bit about what we can do, but hopefully we'll walk away here with a nice meal and some good ideas to make more money. Okay? Good. Thanks, guys.
What I want to talk about very briefly today is the impediments you face in introducing new technologies in the Philippines based on my experience. And the first one is there is always a resistance to new technologies, believe it or not. And it's based on the issue of a perceived risk. So in introducing a new technology, you really have to address what is the risk of this technology not working and what will be the effect on that on my business, both on the systems that I have and indeed on my market. For example, if you have a new technology for air conditioning and you introduce it in a hotel and it wrecks all the equipment, that's a capital expenditure, but you also lose your market. All your guests will leave because there's no air conditioning, so you lose business. So the first thing in introducing a new technology is you have to make people feel comfortable about the risk. The second lesson I've learned is in the Philippines, and I hope I say this with respect, is very often you'll have a new technology that works well in Canada and has been demonstrated in Canada or the US or China. And people say, well, it may not work in the Philippines. I want to see a case where it's worked before I adopt it myself. And in some cases, this may be relevant because of climatic conditions or in water treatment because of diet and things like that. But it is an issue here that there's often a reluctance to adopt a new technology because they can't see a single case where it's been used in the Philippines. This stresses the importance of that first sale and demonstration project, even if you have to do it at a loss. The third example is the focus, as Safdra said, on the cost. There's no question that any new technology, people want to see what is the bottom line in terms of revenue. And this gets a bit complicated because basically my experience has been that most people compare capital cost. What is the cost of the capital cost of this versus alternatives? They don't generally look at lifetime cycle costs of 10, 15, 20 years. This actually raises the interesting question of return on investment that Safdra raised. What I've found is that quite often, if we demonstrate that the return of investment is 3 or 4 years, people's interest actually isn't very high. If I can demonstrate that the return of investment is under 12 months, the interest really peaks. And this has an interesting impact on business because if you have quite a large profit margin on your technology, then it may well be worthwhile reducing that profit margin so the return on investment is below 12 months, because that will actually then really encourage people to pick up your technology. The next thing that's very important, we find, is the guarantee. People recognize there's a risk in new technologies, but they are really interested in what guarantee do I have that it will continue to work. And there are 2 guarantees. Actually, there's 3, but I'll come to one later. The first one is obviously that it's going to work, and that's very, very important. The second, it's going to achieve the savings that you say it will be. In other words, if you say it's going to have a return on investment in 12 months, they want to know that that's going to happen. They want a guarantee or something. So in introducing new technologies, there are two guarantees you have to look at. The other one we found, which is very interesting in the case of ice cold, which we'll talk about earlier, is the issue of, again, if it damages the equipment or if it results because of a problem in loss of your market, is there any insurance? And it's very, very important, actually, that you have insurance that covers your new technology, both for the equipment and for the market. The last point I'd like to focus on is that it's very helpful if you have some sort of endorsement. Now, the best endorsement, of course, is to have a government endorsement saying this is a fantastic product. In the Philippines, that's quite hard to get. But there is a actually interesting possibility. I think some of you may be aware of it. The Department of Science and Technology has a program called Environmental Technology Verification. It's a voluntary program. It basically, if you have a new technology that relates to the environment, which most of these do, you can go and apply for it. It costs very, very little. And what they do is they take your product, they look at a case study, they submit it to a third-party peer group, and basically what they will say, they won't guarantee it, but what they will say is this product does what they say it is, and they put it on their website. So this is an extremely important marketing tool for new technologies related to the environment. And I've used it a couple of times with clients. It's a very user-friendly department of the government, unlike some others, I may say. And I really would recommend this as a marketing tool for new technologies related to the environment. The bottom line of what I'm saying is introduction of new technologies, obviously you have to sell the technologies on technological grounds. But it's fine to have a fantastic technology, but unless you can make the business case for it and address the worries of the business that appear in the Philippines, this is a major challenge. Let me just address one point that Safta made. One of the technologies we've been trying to introduce here, unrelated to this, is a water treatment system that replaces septic tanks. Now, a developer is interested in selling his lots and his houses at the lowest capital cost, making it at the lowest capital cost, so he makes a profit. So he's actually not interested necessarily in the long-term operational costs of water treatment. So therefore, he may use traditional septic tanks as opposed to a more expensive capital expenditure for a new water treatment facility. His view is, fine, I keep my capital costs down so Company A can compete against Company B who's selling houses. He doesn't care, the developer, about the long-term unless he's a very, very socially responsible one. He leaves it up to the ultimate buyer to buy the new technology. And that's a problem for introducing new technologies. Who is the beneficiary? Is it the initial purchaser, the developer? Is it the end user? Or what happens if it's a person who rents a building? You may have a building with electric lights in it. The owner may not be interested in putting new lights if he cannot pass on the costs. So this is a very interesting issue, I think, in all of us we have to face. There's wonderful new technologies. They should be taken advantage of, but you have to make sure that you address in the marketing these worries that people will have. Thank you. Salamat po.
So what are the benefits of adapting to this technology? Of course, the first, which is obvious, is the energy efficiency behind this. So I want to present some of the most commonly used lighting system that we can save on power cost. It's common that we're using bulbs, especially in our houses, in our offices, in the comfort rooms, and some hallways for the downlights. A CFL of 13 to 15 watts can be replaced by just 6 to 8 watts. And that gives you actually 50% savings. Of course, our tube lights, T8, or T12, 36 watts to 40 watts can just be replaced by just 16 to 18 watts. And that gives us 60% savings. Of course, for the street lights, which is very common, which is really eating a lot of energy, 50 watts to 40 watts that we're using in our streets can be replaced by just 100 to 150 watts. And that gives us 65% savings. Of course, for factories and warehouses that are using high bay lights, 250 watts to 400 also can be replaced by just 100 to 50 watts. And that's also give us 65%. So that's the obvious benefits that we can get out of adapting to this technology. And that gives us an ROI of just 8 to 10 months. So why not adapt to this technology? Because the ROI is very quick. Of course, one of the benefits is long life, longevity. So if you compare it to our conventional lighting system like CFL and incandescent bulbs, good quality LEDs can last to 50,000 burning hours, compared to incandescent, which is around 1,200, and CFL 8,000 burning hours. So with incandescent, it's like 40 times longer, and with CFL, it's around 10 times better. So what to look for when buying LED products? So of course, longer life. No? You can check all the products that being offered to you. If it's, of course, can last 40 to 50 burning hours. But of course, some of those are just claims. It's better to look for a better supplier that can give you longer warranty and service. And of course, light direction, no? Because LED is directional. You can check on the disbursement of the light, no? Because there are specs that can tell you it's 60 beam angle, 120 or 180. So depending on your requirements, you can check on which particular that you need. And I welcome any questions or inquiries.
Good morning. Some of the LEDs I see, the screens I see in the roads, at night is very glaring. It's difficult to drive, especially if the lights are too strong. And is there a way how to manage it in that it becomes dimmer? And number two, I see cars as well using LED lights. Is this likened as well to the ones that you're making, or is there a possibility that cars can have LED, clearer but more friendly to the eyes? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the question. So to answer the first question, it's about the color rendering index that the LED is designed to. So we have to apply the right color rendering index. So some products in the market they specify what is the color rendering index. So it's an index of range from 1 to 100, 100 being the sunlight quality. So for street lights, based on the road board, it should be around 4,000 to 4,500 color temperature. That's more suitable to driving. So it's not glaring to the eye. And of course, there are some already controls that can be employed or adopt where it dims on a certain time of the day.
Do you package financial, let's say, financial arrangements? Let's say if I'm a company and I want to do a relamping and change the equipment, do you do the financial cost-benefit analysis for on our behalf? And secondly, have you done so, and do you have case studies of packages that you've done already in the Philippines?
Okay, thank you for the question. That type of model, there are some companies that really offering payment through savings. With our group, we're looking already on that. So we can all easily help our customers adapt to these technologies. But we also offer some financial partnership with the banks. So the banks can help you finance the solution. and get a better terms so you can easily pay for the solution.
One problem that we encounter is the disposal of the existing fluorescent light bulbs. Is there a package or is there a deal in which you can, or that could encourage us that you would buy it back, the old bulbs, for proper disposal and proper recycling methods, so that, I mean, it's a better standpoint in which us to invest on the LED bulbs, and being the supplier that you would buy it, that you would buy the old bulbs from us for proper disposal and a shorter return of investment period.
Yes, I think that can be negotiated. That's actually very helpful because in that case, we can easily cut down the price for the client. We can actually do that, and of course, we can give it to a charitable institution for their disposal.
You know, when LED does not emit the heat that actually challenges your air conditioning system in the building, okay, that also then provides more efficiency for your air conditioning and lowers the cost also of consumption for the air conditioning system. So that's one thing, no? And of course, using quality LED lights as compared to the ones that you buy in the regular, stores in Manila, okay, they're really cheap, okay, but you're looking at the burning hours, you're looking at the heat emission as well. Not all LEDs do not emit heat. Some do, okay, you'll feel that. And these are the lower quality ones. Secondly, looking at, you raised the point on the medical benefit of as compared to the old system of lighting from CFLs or your regular incandescent or fluorescent lamps. The mercury content does have harmful effects on the skin, whereas LEDs, especially those that are sealed, okay, you don't want them exposed. So these are now chips on board as compared to the regular mercury technology from the past. These are no longer harmful. I'm not a doctor. Please don't quote me, but this is to my understanding as well. Thank you very much.
I want to suggest this is education. I think you are doing today, we know this is all developer, manufacturer, but you must continuously educate. So even not familiar this kind of program, they know already this is very, very good, and then actually this is very saving for them.
Way forward for us in construction industry.
We are here not only to promote our businesses, but to actually help protect and to ensure our environment. I'm very happy to see and to know the various energy efficiency products in the market available today, and also hear the feedback from the other companies with respect relevant to this. I hope that we will be having more of these symposiums, and so to raise awareness and also to help promote our businesses.
Well, my work working out with Marco regarding the pilot project.
Thank you, Global Cleantech, for initiating this event. Look forward to more events like this, and the idea is to strengthen and create more awareness about the benefits of renewable energy.
Public enterprises, private enterprises. Thank you very much.